Once we have the main components, let's move ahead and design our API. These are the main API which the front end uses to interact with the backend. Since the user interact with the system using web browser via internet, we will be using HTTP and RESTful API. The first API is to get list of events. Since we are getting or fetching the events, we will be using HTTP GET. HTTP GET request is used to get or retrieve the data from the server. In our case, it will be events. The URI will be /events. The response contains an array of events. Each object of an event has an ID which uniquely identifies the event. The event name. This is what the user sees and uses to search. The event date. The date and time when the event is taking place. And lastly, the location of the event where the event is taking place. When the event is not available, the user should be able to search for the event by its name. We need an API for that as well. Let's design it. Because we are getting the event, we will be using HTTP GET API here as well. To the previous API, which is /events, we will also add query parameter called event name. The API will have the same structure as /events, the GET API. The array will have those events which matches the search. We also provide events with similar names or names which contains chess championship. For example, chess championship 2023 or chess championship 2024 and so on. The third API we need is to book a ticket. When we book a ticket, a new booking is created. And for any new resource that is to be created, HTTP post is used. We pass the ID of the event which we got in the GET request in the previous two API. This is the unique identifier that identifies the event and using which we book a particular event. When the request is successful, the API responds with a URI, which refers to the newly created booking. It also sends the data of the booking. This API will create a new booking and it will have a status as pending. To confirm the booking, we need an API. The API URI is /events/event ID, which tells which event ID we are referring to, /bookings/booking ID. This is the ID which we got from the previous API, /confirm. Now this API is used to confirm the booking. On success, we update the status of the booking to confirmed status. These are the main API which the front end uses to interact with the backend. We have designed the API. Looking at the main component, since we are going to use the web and the REST API, let's change the front end box to be more specific. There is a browser and an API gateway. Browser will be used to serve the UI and the API gateway is used to expose the API. Don't miss the next important chapter in this series. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified.